Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode here of Rapid Fire Q&A with Scotty Milas. I'm your host, Scotty Milas, and of course, our lovely guest, our moderator, Wendi Hill, who is president, CEO, and founder of Market Momentum. For anyone who's interested in some really quality marketing programs for your, whether it's small, medium, or large size company, feel free to connect with Wendi on LinkedIn. And it's Wendi Hill, Wendi, not Wendy, DI, and it's Hill, Hill. We have another series of questions that we're going to code. These questions came in from our websites and different channels. Just for the record, I know we had some questions last time we did this a couple of weeks ago. We do not take questions live. These are all questions that have come in, like I said, on our websites, various social media channels. So we're going to go ahead and answer those. And if anyone wants to reach out and connect to Wendi, like I said, do so on LinkedIn. And of course, you can check out my website, scottmilasfranchisecoach.com. And also check out my podcast channel, allthingsconsideredfranchising.com. All yours, Wendi.
Hello. These questions are kind of all over the place, so I think this will be a good session today. Number one, when I meet with a franchisor, do they have to report franchisee success, litigation history, and overall brand reputation? And what if they don't?
You know, this is a good question, and this is really going, and this is kind of a great segue into my educational series that you'll find on my podcast. So I think there's 2 up there now, and it's really understanding the process of validation and due diligence as a potential franchisee. So to answer this question, the best way for me to do so is to tell you that the franchisee's franchise disclosure document, the FDD, which all franchisors are obligated to present to you, and it's usually done after the first major conversation that you have, and of course, any paperwork that needs to be filled out. The FDD is going to show most of these items. It's going to show pending litigation, if there are any. It shows an accounting of the brand itself, and it's item 19. The key here is you have to remember that the brand is only authorized to talk about numbers or validation, whether it's sales, gross profit margins, if it's in the FDD, in item 19. So if it's not in the item 19, they're really not allowed or legally allowed to talk about it. So I would caution everybody going to a discovery day meeting with a franchisor that you're going to get additional validation questions answered and really kind of get feedback from franchisees. Your validation should be done prior to and after going to a discovery day, where you're going to reach out and talk to franchisees and ask these specific questions about whether they're satisfied, would they do it all over again, sign on the dotted line. So that's the best way for me to answer this.
Okay.
Discovery day is really more of learning about the systems, meeting the people that you would be working with and partnering with, and feeling comfortable with the management team that's supporting you. That's the best way to do it.
Good answer. Okay, number 2, are you ready?
Yep.
Are food franchises still popular?
You know, sadly, in some ways, there are many consultants out there who will not present food options to potential franchisees or clients. I happen to love food franchises. I come from a strong food background. I was part of a upper management team that helped put on the map a fast casual better burger concept. So food is a great option. I caution people that the best way to put food businesses is that food is not hard work, it's long work. There are a lot of moving pieces, but it can be very financially rewarding, especially if you're with the right brand. I tell people that if you're going to get into food, you primarily want to stay into the categories that are going to please the masses. If you're going to go out and open a strange vegetarian type concept, you don't have as many people who may be interested in going as if you were opening a burger, chicken, or pizza type business. So that's the best way I can put about food. But I love food. I love food businesses.
Good. Number 3, does the SBA fund franchisees?
The SBA, yes. Up until recently, the SBA had there was an SBA registry that would show that brands that were on the SBA. That registry is slowly starting to disappear, but I would say there's probably about 85-90% of all franchise opportunities are supported by the SBA. Now, the key here to remember is that while the SBA is not supposed to discriminate what type of business it is, the bank itself may say, hey, no food franchises, or
Okay.
we're only going to authorize SBA funding to brands that have more than 50 locations or have an item 19 in their FDD. So there is some wiggle room on whether a bank or the SBA will work with you on a specific brand, or a certain brand, I should say. All of my clients go through Mona Janes, who is a financial consultant that I actually pay for my clients to speak with, based on the brands that they're interested in, and kind of lining up the SBA funding. But SBA funding is a good alternative to financing a startup. However, keep in mind now with the high interest rates, SBA loans are touching over 10% right now. So
Okay.
it's a little, personal funds or a Rob's rollover may be a better option.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Number 4. Once I sign a franchise agreement, how long will it typically take before I'm up and running?
Great question, and this goes into the strategic planning of leaving your corporate position if you're opening a business. So let's just take two models. Let's take a brick and mortar model, and let's take a service-based brand that just has a territory that may have some equipment tied to it. If it is a brick and mortar store or location, and the brick and mortar location kind of has a white shell, or it's an existing location that closed and needs to be remodeled and branded to the way the franchise or requires, it could take 4, 5, 6 months for that construction process. If you're looking for a location and the brand is giving you real estate assistance, it could take you 4, 5, 6 months to find a location, if not longer. So typically I tell my clients that if you're looking at a brick and mortar type opportunity, you have to figure that you're probably going to open up somewhere between 9 and 12 months, and it may go longer, especially if you're waiting for an A location to come up once you've signed your franchise agreements. It has gone longer. But it does take longer to open a brick and mortar. So that's why I encourage my clients, if you're leaving corporate America and you're opening a brick and mortar, don't necessarily walk out the door right away once you sign.
Right.
Wait until that you've signed your lease and starting the construction. Service-based brands working out of your home that may have a van associated with it or certain equipment. It varies. It may take 2 months to get the equipment. It may take a month. But typically in a service-based brand, working from home or renting a facility, you're usually going to be up and running within 60 to 90 days after signing your franchise agreements.
That's really important because that's a huge time difference,
Yes,
between
it is.
the two. So that can make a huge difference. Okay, number 5. Do franchisors require I meet certain requirements or skills to become a franchisee?
There are certain restaurant food brands, and since we mentioned restaurants, I'll just mention this. But yes, there are certain franchisors in the food industry that do require restaurant or food experience. But in most cases, uh, franchisors would prefer less industry experience than more, so they can train you the right way, and you're not coming into the business model with preconceived bad habits and trying to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, or change the systems that you understand.
Okay.
So, to answer the question, no, you don't need specific industry experience. However, in the food industry, and there's a certain other brands that require specific industry experience to answer the question.
Okay, great. And here's our last one. Do I train my first hires or does the franchisor do this for me or with me?
Good question. Most good franchisors, when you are getting ready to open, will come out and spend a week with you in your territory. helping you train your employees. There are going to be training manuals you can use to train employees. This varies from brand to brand. There are some brands that pay more attention to helping you hire people and train your employees. There are others that don't spend as much time. But by Federal Trade Commission guidelines, a franchisor must provide you or have an operations and training manual to be able to train your employees that you're bringing on board. A lot of franchisors have gone to online training videos, so you can go back. Let's say you hire somebody to be a line cook in a burger place or making sandwiches, so that person can go in and actually sit in front of a computer and learn the different types of sandwiches, how to make them, and then you can work with them individually, testing them and getting on. So every brand is a little bit different. But by Federal Trade Commission guidelines, a franchisor must be able to provide you with training and have some type of manual for you to offer training to your employees. Keep in mind this, and this is a big caveat, and people don't understand this, is that as someone who signs on the franchise agreement and pays the franchise fee, you as the franchisee are required to go to training. A franchisor cannot let you open until you have completed and passed training. You cannot send somebody to training for you. You can probably bring somebody or manager that you may be hiring to training. You have to talk to the franchisor. There are some franchisors that actually charge for bringing extra people. That is one of those things that's negotiable, but in essence, the franchisor should spend time working with you and helping you training your employees and ongoing training and support if someone leaves and you're bringing on a replacement employee.
Okay, good. Well, if everybody will keep sending in questions, we'll do this again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Wendy, I just wanted to take a quick shout out here. For those of you in the industry, you've probably have heard of Alicia Miller. She's been an icon in the franchising industry for many, many years. Her expertise is in private equity, how it relates to the franchising industry. And I just wanted to put out a plug on her new book, Big Money.
Okay.
It's a must read in regards to people who are franchisors looking to potentially sell to private equity and how private equity plays an integral part in the franchising industry. So I would certainly encourage anybody. It's a great read, and you can find it on Amazon. Again, Big Money in Franchising, and it's written by Alicia Miller. And again, you can connect with Alicia on LinkedIn as well.
That sounds good.
All right. Well, Wendi, thank you for the questions. Appreciate all the guidance and help on this. Again, a reminder, everybody, go to allthingsconsideredfranchising.com to see a list of all the podcasts or all of the podcast channels, Apple, you name it, we're on it. Weekly podcast, educational series. Be on the lookout for a new newsletter coming out shortly. Also visit my website, scottmilasfranchisecoach.com. If you're intrigued about franchising, franchise opportunities and like to learn more about business ownership, please reach out. Again, as always, there are no charges, fees, no invoices, no nothing for the services, guidance, and education and research that I provide my clients. So until next time, this is Scotty Milas and Wendi Hill saying goodbye from Rapid Fire Q&A, and we'll catch you on the rebound. Thanks, Wendi.
Thanks. Have a good day.